Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Inside Movies Galore. I'm your host, David Strege, and here I have another review for you of another film that was directed by Massimiliano Cerchi, that was distributed by SGL Entertainment and put out under his production company called Arounds Entertainment, that we had seen on Satan Claus, which was put out by Sub Rosa Cinema. And if you notice something about the some of the films that he's directed, many of them have been horror influenced. I mean, with Satan Claus, you could tell that you were getting kind of a Silent Night, Deadly Night, Black Christmas kind of a vibe. With the later film that I have seen by him, which is Hellbilly, that one had some Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Hills Have Eyes kind of a vibe. So when we talk of this particular film, which is called Hellinger, which was filmed in 1997, I can certainly tell that this film definitely has a different kind of a vibe. We have Melissa, who is evidently, in the very beginning of this film, she is very young, very impressionable. So she seems to have an argument with her father when she is very young, you know. So, but she seems to have a recurring nightmare of this creature or person called Hellinger, which evidently he takes the souls of the people that are around her and says that he's doing it for, for her own good, that he's protecting her, this Hellinger. And I'm getting kind of a Hellraiser vibe from this character. So I think that there is a huge influence of Hellraiser in this film, but it is its own film independently. So I like that it takes its own story and it takes its own history, so to speak. We find out that Hellinger is in fact a priest that has evidently had a cult of his own, kind of like Aleister Crowley in a sense. So I wonder if he got his vibe of that particular person in Hellinger. But we also have Melissa's cousin, Melissa Moran, who was played by Shayna Betts. And so we have her cousin, who I believe is played by James M. O'Donoghue, or is it Kendall or is it Artie Richard, who plays Kendall Ransom, who is evidently the cousin of Melissa, and he starts going and trying to figure out who this Hellinger character is, and evidently Melissa is seeing a psychotherapist or some kind of a therapist while she is an adult, and this Hellinger seems to keep visiting her. She also seems to be in or be visited by this older man called the Reverend, who happens to have like these totally devoted bodyguards. And one of the acolytes or bodyguards, I'm assuming that this is the so-called cult of this particular priest that we are beginning to learn about. I thought that the creature Hellinger, who was played by Wayne Petruccelli, or Petruccelli. I'm hoping that I'm saying his name right. He's very white, has a Mr. Clean kind of a head, and there is a moment in the dream sequence where we see chains hanging down, which is why I say heavily influenced by Hellraiser, but more or less, I think it's more like a tribute to Hellraiser and the films that that came out from that particular franchise. This was entirely a different caliber of film from Hellbilly and Satan Claus. For the imagery of the character, the story work that built up to this character, the acting was definitely better. It wasn't over the top. I mean, at first, Wayne Petruccelli, or however you spell his name, sounded like he was trying to get his voice down. But I believe he found his character voice for this character. It kind of surprises me that this is like one of his only acting films. For he ultimately found his calling later on in films to be a security coordinator in many films. Many films that you and I know. So I thought that his acting was really, really good for this particular time period. For being from 1997 and being a shot on video film, this particular camera had to have been better than the cameras that were shot with Hellbilly and Satan Claus. At least those are the two films that I have seen from Cerchi's filmography so far. And there were some very erotic sex scenes in here as well. So I thought that those were put together rather well. I was entertained by this film. I liked the mystery, the kind of whodunit, kind of an atmosphere. What, how her detective cousin it came into knowing how it was happened, and what the man who was the priest was using to achieve the nightmarish goal in Melissa's life. So I thought that this was a fairly decent film. I rather enjoyed it. Again, you can find this in a standalone copy of Hellinger, or you can find it in this Killer Pack Volume 2 from SGL Entertainment. So I enjoyed it. I'm hoping that you will take the time, if you are a horror film lover out there, to go and at least give it a one-time watch. because I think that you'd be entertained by um, this film. I think if you had seen the films in the order that I had seen them in, you would also agree. But that's just me. You don't have to have the same opinion. Uh, just go and see it. I recommend that you go and see it, and let me know down in the comments what your thoughts were on this film. Um, I enjoyed it. So, in any case, hopefully you enjoyed my description of this film. Like and subscribe to my page if you have not. Definitely check out some of my other reviews. Check out some of my cool reviews that I'll be coming out with. And hopefully you have a great day, evening, or morning, wherever wherever you are. So, thank you ahead of time for listening. Have a great day. Just enjoy yourself. Watch films. Thank you so much. Enjoy.